The Chiefs get to open at home, and they do so in a rematch of Super Bowls 57 and 59 as the Philadelphia Eagles come in for the home opener. For the Chiefs, who is going to create or deal with the discomfort zone? Of course, this and every Defending the Kingdom brought to you by your friends at Ticketmaster. Check them out for the greatest home schedule, maybe in Chiefs history, and one of the best schedules of all time, home or road.
Now Mahomes is going to scramble to the right. 10, 5, to the near front pylon. Give it to him. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. The Chiefs losing in Brazil 27-21 to the Chargers, and now get ready for the home opener at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium against, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. There's almost a feeling, much like San Francisco, we've played this NFC team so often that it feels like an AFC or division game.
And it goes back to 2021 because we went to Philly and Jalen Hurts was the quarterback then. It's funny because I think back then he was kind of fighting for that starting role, like trying to hang on to it, and now he's obviously very established, but won that game in 2021.
It was Coach's 100th win as a Chiefs coach.
Sure was, yeah. And he became the first coach in NFL history to have 100 wins with multiple franchises. He's pretty fired up after that one. But obviously saw these guys in 2022. Saw them in the rain in 2023. Is that right?
Yep. It was 21-17.
Yeah, crazy game. And then, of course, in the Super Bowl last year. So we see these guys quite a bit. Let's get back in the win column again.
Now, there was Super Bowl 57, right? Because there seems to be some recency bias like that.
It's strange. You know, you talk to people from Philly, they act like Super Bowl 57 didn't happen. It's actually 1-1 in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. Yeah. So
if this is like we're coming up on the baseball playoffs, it's 1-1, right?
It's 1-1, yeah. And, you know, this is a regular season game, but you never know. Maybe we'll see him in Super Bowl 60.
So this episode, we're going to be calling it the uncomfort zone in just who can dictate terms. We're going to get into all that and try to explain what we're talking about as the Chiefs try to get to 1-1 and make the Eagles 1-1 after they had a hard-fought victory to open up the entire NFL schedule with a 24-20 win over a divisional rival in the Dallas Cowboys. But let's first go around the world, and then I want to talk about something that happened this week in the Kingdom that was really remarkable. But let's go around the world.
This is a very fitting around the world segment, considering we just came back from around the world. 11-hour flight.
Felt like around the world.
It was 6,000 miles away.
Oh, my gosh.
The whole thing feels like a fever dream almost because, you know, we left right after the game, and we landed in Kansas City at 12:30 on Saturday. Mm-hmm. There were people texting me saying, like, safe travels back home. I'm like, I'm already back home. I just watched college football on Saturday, and it's like the whole thing didn't happen. It was crazy. But anyway, more on Brazil here in a second. We'll go around the world. I got 5 today. So Scott.
For Hollywood Brown.
For Hollywood Brown, who had 16 targets, I think 10 catches for 99 yards, and that awesome catch at the end that gave us a chance. Scott is listening from okay, this is another situation where I'm going to give you the American pronunciation and I think the Australian pronunciation. Brisbane, Australia, or Brisbane?
Yeah, probably Brisbane.
It's got to be Brisbane, right?
Brisbane, but yeah, we're
not Brisbane.
Brisbane.
So Scott's listening from there. Joel is also listening from Brisbane. So we have a contingent growing in Brisbane, Australia.
Is there a Chiefs Kingdom gathering place in Brisbane?
Sounds like there needs to be. Mm-hmm. So Scott, Joel, get on it. We've got a listener in Manaus, Brazil. Which, are you familiar with Manaus?
I am not.
So it's like in the middle of the Amazon. It's really cool. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures of it. It's like a major metro in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. And a lot of like Amazon cruises like disembark from Manaus. So anyway, we have a listener in Manaus. Matt and his wife are just east of Huntington, West Virginia.
Marshall University.
Home of the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Yep.
They've been fans since 1993. They're celebrating their 24th wedding anniversary and his wife's birthday. So congratulations on that, and
Ethan
happy
Driscoll.
birthday. And a great movie. I know that movie's kind of cheesy and corny with Matthew McConaughey, but I love We Are Marshall.
Yeah, that's such a sad thing that happened in 1970. And what was weird is it happened 1 month after Wichita State had the same thing happen.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Within 30 days, there were 2 major plane crashes that killed many, many people, both in the Marshall football program and the Wichita State football program. I've talked about Wichita State. My wife, Tammy, her first cousin was a starting free safety on that Wichita State team that was killed. And it was almost mind-blowing that just a month later, Marshall had that accident.
It's horrible.
So, yeah, but that movie just has a different meaning. And Marshall people have such great pride in Huntington, West Virginia, in that area.
Yeah, very cool. So
Randy
shout out to you.
Moss's alma mater.
How cool was that?
How did
Randy
they get
Moss
around-
at Marshall.
and he's like destroying the earth when he was there. He's just like,
Yeah.
got Moss and everybody.
You'll like this one. This is my last one. I heard from a listener in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Home of the New Mexico State Aggies.
So for those that don't know, I went to like an old video game store not too long ago, and I'm a loser, and I still play my Xbox 360, like the old NCAA football game. Yeah, so does Mitch. I don't know. The new one's fine. I think it's great. I just really like the old one, and I went and found NCAA football 12. And I popped it in my Xbox 360. And I like that one because you get to do all the recruiting. Like in the later versions.
That was actually really fun.
It's fun. Yeah, you make phone calls. Like in NCAA 14, you just allocate points to the recruiting. It's like streamlined, which is fine. But in 12, you're actually making promises and phone calls and stuff. And I am the head coach of the New Mexico State Aggies. We're not very good, but we're powering through.
But what's your record now? Because have you?
We're 5-0. We're not ranked.
Oh, okay.
We play Georgia next week, but we just beat Nevada. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Chris Alt's Nevada team. But for you New Mexico State Chiefs Kingdom defenders out there, you did beat UTEP and UNM in the same year.
We beat UTEP,
big our
UNM.
tribals.
I'm trying to think who else we've beaten. We beat Nevada.
But those are the big two. If
Yeah,
you
we
go
had
2
to
and
beat
10
those.
Yep.
We had to beat those. And, we're building the program here. So, anyway, I saw Las Cruces. I got a chuckle out of it.
Now,
Also-
wait a minute. I'm also your PR director of this team because we have now shirts and we have social media wasn't really fired up then, but we've got an entire campaign called the Matt Hatton Project.
Taking over the town.
Because not far as not Los Alamos, right? And so in Las Cruces, it's Matt Hatton Project, not the Manhattan Project that led to the atomic bomb.
People aren't buying in yet, but they will over time. Also want to shout out all the amazing people we met in Brazil.
Oh, my goodness.
So obviously the game was a bummer, but the entire experience there beforehand and the opportunities we had to meet people was incredible. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. To be greeted at the airport like we were by hundreds of Chiefs fans after we had been on a plane for 12 hours, to see that was so cool. And then the Chiefs House event in Sao Paulo, like in downtown Sao Paulo, there was like 1,000 Chiefs fans there. I was blown away by it. If you were one of the people I talked to, thanks for coming and saying hi. It made my trip. I mean, it was absolutely amazing to see something that I care so much about, appreciated and loved 6,000 miles away in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And to talk Chiefs with all you guys and talk football and just get to know you was amazing. So the game was a bummer. Obviously that left a bad taste in our mouth, but everything else was phenomenal and top-notch, and can't wait to go back.
To the young couple and the young family, they said, would you sign, they're defending Kingdom Defenders, would you sign our pennant? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to pass this up. But it was their two little kids. They were there
at the airport
at midnight.
Yeah.
It's like 12:30.
And we were delayed, so they waited hours, hours for us to get in there.
So shout out to the people and the Kingdom Defenders
Yes.
of Brazil, and thank you for your hospitality. One thing really happened, though, this was unrelated to that. It was really cool. The University of Kansas Health System, we know we partner with them, but they have a program in their system. Bob Page is amazing, so is Tammy Peterman leading the way. But they have Joel Navarre also heads up this program, but it's a GED program for people who have one way or another have been kind of taken off the path, or it's difficult to get their GED. They do it within the system. They can work within the system, get the GED while they're working, and then that puts them in position for further education or greater employment opportunities. And there were 5, and Bob said, could you speak to their commencement? I'm like, 5 people, okay. But I thought, what an awesome program. So I met these 5 ladies, studied their backgrounds, and I thought, this really ties into Isaiah Pacheco and what Pop has overcome to get his degree at Rutgers. So it was the first Chiefs Kingdom show of the year, Hy-Vee in the Northland off Berry Road. And a big shout out to our security team. Brian Schaefer, Ryan Gilbreth, and Andrew Ramirez were amazing in this night because they had to make it happen. So was PR, especially Kelsey Bull. And then Matt Niemann from our sponsorship team. But Isaiah Pacheco was there and did such an incredible job of talking about his story, but then also relating to these 5 GED graduates. It's over. We're going to break. Time to end the show, saying goodbye to Pop. And he's unsolicited. He just is looking at those 5 ladies and said, the 6 of us basically, I'm paraphrasing, are not done. this is just a start for us to move forward, to make things better for not only ourselves but for others. It was incredible. And so we talk about, inspiring our fans, uniting our community, and it's more than just put up on the wall. When you see it happen and you realize there's just more than football to this team, we have incredible guys on this team.
Yeah.
And Pacheco is he's phenomenal in his own right, just by himself set apart. But what he did for those 5 ladies who had worked hard and overcame a lot of adversity to get their GED and to push on to other things was something I don't want to gloss over.
We have a lot of amazing players on our team, but also a lot of amazing human beings that use their platform to change lives. Obviously, we've seen what Patrick and Travis Kelce have done, but every player on this team has an incredible platform to make the world a better place, right? And for those individuals that were there, if an NFL player, a Chiefs player, a Super Bowl champion, and Isaiah Pacheco is trying to tell you, hey, you're not done, like you're going to listen to that and remember that for a long time. I just think it's really cool that our guys use their platform to change lives, and not everyone does. So that's pretty awesome.
Really awesome. What else is awesome is a home opener. 3:25 Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. We're calling this the uncomfort zone because honestly to me, football, and you and I talk about this all the time when we're preparing, is that dictating terms. I don't care at any level what football team kind of starts out to impose their will. This is the way it's going to be tonight. And these are the terms and the rules that we're going to play under. Philadelphia has done overall in the 15 straight victories that they have had with Jalen Hurts starting and ending a game, does that. The way Philadelphia plays, they dictate terms. They did it in the Super Bowl, got ahead 34-0. But this game to me is about dictating terms and who creates an uncomfort zone for the opponent.
Philadelphia has this scheme where they want to be the bully and they want to play ball control, run the ball, convert third downs, score. Before you know it, half the quarter is over, and you have to deal with their pass rush. And then you punt the ball back to them, and they do it all over. And they did it to an extent just in week 1. You look at what they did against the Cowboys. They had the ball for 33 minutes, I believe. That was the most of any team in the NFL in week 1. And half of their 8 possessions, so 4 of their 8 drives, ate up at least 5 minutes, tied for the most of any team in week 1. They went 8 of 13 on third down. They rushed for 158 yards. And Jalen Hurts is part of this too, because obviously Saquon Barkley gets a lot of credit. He rushed for 2,000 yards last year. He'll get the ball a lot in this game too. But it's more than Hurts just doing the tush push. He carried the ball 14 times last week for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns, but 9 of those were scrambles, and 3 of them moved the chains on 3rd and 3 or longer. So we can talk all about this, but if you look at what went wrong defensively for the Chiefs in the Chargers game, it was a lot of these long third downs, and Justin Herbert scrambling in particular. Of course, the final play being the one that really sticks in your mind. But as important as it is to slow down Saquon Barkley, and that is the most important thing going into this game initially, you got to make sure you don't lose contain on Jalen Hurts, because if he's scrambling for 8 yards on 3rd and 7, that's just really difficult, because now they're just going to run the ball some more, eat more clock. They want to grind you into dust, right? And they're so good at that. But for the Chiefs in this game, I'm totally with you. We have to dictate terms to them and make them uncomfortable. And in that game in 2023, I think we actually did that for quite a while. We had some miscues of our own. We fumbled in the red zone, had a drop at the very end of the game. But for the most part, we were dictating terms to them where they couldn't quite do what they wanted to do, and they got out of sorts a little bit. We need that to happen here again in this game.
Best example was the second half of Super Bowl 57. The Chiefs kind of helped. They get the scoop and score. We get the scoop and score from Nick Bolton, which helped kind of slow down the tide, because they started that game very well, did the Eagles. But in the second half, once the Chiefs flipped the game, scored, get the 65-yard punt return, all of a sudden now Philadelphia was put in a place they did not want to be. They also have a good play-action passing game. They still have A.J. Brown. They have Devontae Smith. They have Dallas Goedert. But to your point, in the first half against the Cowboys, they ran the ball 19 times. Only the Jets in the whole week 1 ran it more than the Eagles. Now, toughness has to be a huge part of this game. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual toughness. And our guest this week on Defending the Kingdom is the epitome of that. He has had such an impact on this team, and you're going to find out more than you were bargaining for from JuJu Smith-Schuster. Perfect guy to have on this week for Eagles Week, Rebound Week, is veteran JuJu Smith-Schuster, wide receiver of this team. And you're a vet, and football's always fascinated me from week 1 to week 2, the improvement. But what are you telling the guys this week in getting ready for Philadelphia after last week?
Man, honestly, just start fast. I think we did it in the second half. We proven to go down. We got 3 drives, put points on the board. But for us, it's just starting fast. And, with that energy, just that momentum sets us up for the drives and drives after that.
I thought the adjustments were really impressive, though, in Brazil, because it started slow, like you said. I think like 0 of 7 on third down. But the second half, you're 5 of 7 on third down, put some points on the board. You scored on every single possession in the second half. What were the conversations like at halftime to get you guys going?
I mean, the conversation is just, hey, we got this momentum and we got going on. We just got to keep, leading off of that. And, it takes all 3 phases, right? First of all, want to give a big shout out to Tobe for his mayday, putting 3 points on the board. With
that was awesome, wasn't it?
Situation, man. Like that's awesome. You see that, but also with our defense too, and it's just like on the sideline, at least for us, it's always like, hey man, we got you guys. You guys got us. It's a hand-to-hand work, right? So, in the second half, that's what we needed, right, to put points on the board and have the momentum. But like you said, from week 1 to week 2, it's all about just that first drive and starting fast.
One thing I appreciate you, and I saw it in 2022 when you came to us initially, and I've followed you your whole career, but I call you the door hinge because what you do to get yourself open or get others open, I've seen to be so valuable in coach's offense. What about having that role, making the tough catch and being the door hinge in this offense? Yeah,
man, it's awesome, man. I just love whatever I can do to help this team out, right? Whether it's the dirty work, whether it's blocking DNs, whether it's chipping, the widest. At the end of the day, if it helps our team to be successful and win, I'm down to do it. But and those aggressive catches, man, like those are the ones you want. I think the easy ones that come and go, you got to have those. But at the end of the day, when you get those tough ones where it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and you need to make a play, that's where you go to. And then you talk about the door hinge. The door hinge is something I take pride in, right? Someone who knows man versus zone and how to pick and how to, reroute for leverage is huge. And I've learned that a lot here being under this offense.
How about that one? I think it was third down last week where Patrick hit you on the floater. Like he was like almost on the ground, but you're ready for it. How quickly, when you got here years ago, did you realize I got to be ready at every moment with this guy as my quarterback?
Yeah, no, I had to learn quickly. I mean, especially, when I first got here in 2022, it was, hey, like, watching Trav and how Pat and they built that chemistry and slowly, kind of understanding and just taking notes on how this can work. And I knew that play was, I was running and I saw that like, man, everybody's just sitting in the zone spot. So let me just find a little spot where I can stay still. And what Pat does is what Pat does, right? He goes, he runs. And I did not expect him to throw me the ball like that. And I was like, whoa, all I see is like a swarm of like just Charger players just like getting Pat, and all you see is the ball just pop over their head, and they're like, oh, and I was like, caught it first down, and I was like, yeah, you can't make that up.
Yeah, no problem. Just another day at the office.
I said in the air, it was like he's trying to throw it in before the elevator door shut, and you're in the elevator surrounded by Charger guys. Like, it was pretty crazy. Your role in helping other guys now. Here we are with Jalen Royals in your room. Tyquan Thornton, but he hasn't played a lot. Then Nico Remigio and helping other guys. Brownlee. I mean, you got a room full of guys that are kind of just getting started in this game. What do you tell them?
Man, these guys are just they're hungry and they're ready to play. These guys, they come every day. They work hard every single day. What I tell them is that, hey, it could be anybody's time to step up to the plate. It's very, very important, right? So with X going down, and we know those guys stepped up, this past game, and studying your playbook, studying everybody's position, and knowing, who has what, because you never know when your time's going to be called. And these guys are ready this week, man. We're excited. That's tough about this sport, man. You play one game, you got to wait a whole week to play the next game. Like, this is basketball. It's like you play one game, you move on. 2 days later, you're playing another game. So we're just hungry and ready to just go out there and play.
We talked all offseason about being more explosive, right? And we saw some of that against the Chargers. But what I think people might not realize, that amazing play Patrick had to Hollywood, you brought the safety down. If you don't bring the safety down, Hollywood's not wide open. How much pride do you take in that kind of thing?
I take a lot of pride in that, man. It's the little deals, the little details that a lot of people don't see. And it's not all about, when you have the ball in your hand, you're making a big play. It's pretty cool that you guys even see that, being able to go wrap over the Mike Backer, Duran, and then kind of pull that safety down so Hollywood gets open. And it's the little things like that goes a long way. So it gave us a chance, it gave us momentum, and especially with on 4th down, Pat's going to find a way to make it happen.
Could you believe he completed that? Like, he's like parallel with the ground when he threw it, like 60 yards.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I can't believe it because I've been here and I've seen it. Like,
Yeah.
It's like a daily thing. It's like, and for the world and for Brazil to see that, it was like, that's what they came here to see, right? So, yeah, dude, he's a special dude to play with, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
But him influencing that safety, is the door hinge, man. It's okay. Final question. It has to deal with this opponent and the toughness that's required. And I don't mean just physical toughness. I mean mental, emotional, and even spiritual toughness. The toughness required to win this game in making the opponent uncomfortable instead of dealing with them being in a comfort zone.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge. I mean, you're talking about we watched them play against Dallas. They're a great team overall. Their O-line and D-line, it starts up front. And I think that's where we need to start up, right, is our O-line, D-line, taking control there. And like you said, physically it's going to be tough. Now, that's mentally it's going to be tough. Spiritually it's going to be tough. But at the end of the day, how long can we keep pushing this for 4 quarters, every minute, every second, and pushing until the last whistle is blown? So for us, it starts up front, and then everything else will just fall into its place. And like you said, there's a lot of room to improve. Week 1, there's a lot of different, especially divisional game. It's always tough. But like I said, it's the Eagles are coming in here in our house. We're excited to play against them, to get after them.
That's why he's a blessing to be on this team. It is awesome to have you here, JuJu Smith-Schuster. Wow. The role he's got right now and how he's embraced it, to me, is one of the most powerful things about this team, and I think it's a powerful countermeasure against Philadelphia.
His attitude is just awesome. I wish we had the camera still rolling because we talked to him like 10 minutes after he left, just more stuff. And he's the best. I mean, what a great leader to have in our room with so many young players. And he's helped this team win so much over the years. So many thankless things that he's done. Like, he's made some big plays, obviously. We all know about that. But also just being a decoy or being a blocker, being the door hinge, right? So many different things that don't give you stats in the stat sheet at the end of the game, but were critical in helping us win games. And it's so cool to see how he's grown even during his time in Kansas City. I mean, in 2022, he was this team's leading receiver, but now here 3 years later, he's willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win. And it's just really cool, and I'm glad JuJu's part of this team.
No question. And he just explained to you, when people have asked me, when you say he's a door hinge guy, he just defined it. He just laid it out for you of what he needs to do. And I've noticed even in the first year, this is what we talked about, when Jason Avant was here, on Coach's first team here, and he was a former Eagle wide receiver, I go, feels like a door hinge guy, and he was for this offense. But anyway, JuJu's done it better than anybody since Coach has been here. Before the break, you talked about Jalen Hurts and his scrambling ability. What was interesting in the Cowboys game, and the Chiefs did such a good job on Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. His first 9 carries, he had 16 yards. Okay. And Eagles fans still troll me on social media because I said, hey, you mitigate the run, you got a chance to win.
Why do they seek us out?
I don't know.
I don't know. They seek us out.
Whatever.
Just be happy you won, man.
And I give Jalen Hurts is a heck of a quarterback. He was here as the NFC Offensive Player of the year after Super Bowl 57 in that February, and he just said it just puts another log on the fire. I go, that dude's good. He'll win one. And he did. All right. So, but his 14 touchdowns last year, rushing the ball, none of those were scrambles. They were tush-push, quarterback sneaks, or design quarterback powers or leads or draws. His 2 scrambles for touchdowns against Dallas was noteworthy because they were scrambles. And so I think it just adds to the Eagles' weaponry. Now, let's get into Chiefs countermeasures. How do the Chiefs make the Eagles uncomfortable in this game? And this is going to be basic here, but the Chiefs have got to – first down is like third down in this game. You've got to win on first down. You've got to win on first down. The Eagles had 3rd and 4 less against the Cowboys 5 times. They converted all 5.
You can't be in 3rd and short against these guys.
Nope. It's an automatic first down almost.
Yeah, you can't do it because they have essentially 2 downs to get it when it's 3rd and short. Good news for the Chiefs is we know how good they were against opposing running backs last year. Just so good. I mean, every single week, Bijan Robinson, J.K. Dobbins, whoever it was, we were shutting them down. And that continued against who I think is a very good running back in Amarian Hampton. He was going to be the bell cow for the Chargers in that game. Well, we held him to only 3.2 yards per carry on like 16 carries. Amarian Hampton wasn't the reason the Chargers won that game. Justin Herbert just had the game of his life. Well, it's good, at least, the Chiefs slowed down that rushing attack because they're going to need to do it again here against Philly. Now, beyond just stopping the run, we've got to get pressure with 4. And that's one area that we didn't quite find success against the Chargers. When not blitzed last week, Justin Herbert went 15 of 20 for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. 24 dropbacks, he was not blitzed. We got pressure on just 10 of those. We blitzed him 17 times. We blitzed the opposing quarterback 17 or more times, just twice all last year. A lot of the reason I think that some guys were wide open downfield is because we blitzed, and if the blitz didn't get home, well, there's a hole in the defense. That's just football 101. So we got to get pressure with 4 in this game, and we have the guys to do it. I think we both believe that. You know, I'm willing to kind of throw out that Charger game where weird circumstances, divisional game, season opener, okay, we'll just throw it out. In this game, I'm hopeful that being back at home, having a normal week, our front 4 can get some pressure, and that disrupts what Philly tries to do in the passing game.
Yeah, and the Chiefs defense in the game against the Chargers allowed 3 of 4 third and less than 4 conversions. We talked about the third and long conversions too, but the Chargers, again, had 3 third and 4 less 4 times, and they converted 3 of the 4. That can happen against Philadelphia, and you need to avoid against it. Now, here's another part. You like to take in the NFL someone's strategy. This is a version of taking someone's artillery and turning it on them. Okay, it's happened all throughout time. But that is the fact that the Chiefs have to stay on the field themselves. Cool thing, 3 of 3 on 4th down. Coach had to remind me of that a little bit because I was talking about playing 4-down football with the Eagles. They play 4-down football.
Yep.
Probably more than anybody in the league, Ravens maybe. But the Eagles do that. He goes, well, we were pretty good on 4th down too. Right, 3 of 3.
Kareem was great.
He was great.
The Mahomes throw.
It was 3rd down. 5, and it started 0 for 7, but 5 of 14. Goes back to what JuJu was talking about and starting fast. But there were also 2 3-and-outs against the Chargers. The Chiefs were one of the best teams in the league last year at 3-and-outs. And then when you get to the red zone, Philly was perfect in the red zone. The Chiefs were 1 of 3 in the red zone. So we're laying it out here for you. The countermeasures, you got to win on 1st down on defense. You've got to get pressure with 4. That's something this team has to do even going back to last year. But on the offensive side of the ball, you turn the cannon on the Eagles. You limit their opportunities. You stay on the field. Yeah, you're going to hit some big plays. So did the Cowboys. But the Cowboys did an excellent job in this game. You realize Philly was last in 3rd down defense against against Dallas. The Cowboys converted 7 of 11 3rd downs. And it wasn't just passing. It was running. It was great balance. Brian Schottenheimer had a great plan in that game. CeeDee Lamb had 7 catches before the drops for 110 yards. So what do? You turn the cannon on the opponent. And you try to almost use their game against them. So, and starting fast is all part of this too, but that's how you try to make the Eagles uncomfortable. Who makes who? Who puts the other team in the uncomfort zone?
Dallas also stayed out of negative plays, only 3 negative plays for a grand total of 8 lost yards. You mentioned the 63% clip on 3rd down, best of any team in week 1, and only 4 penalties. They scored on their first 4 possessions, and they were about to score on their 5th before Miles Sanders fumbled at like the 8-yard line. So the Cowboys had a good plan against these guys. And what's kind of interesting is the Eagles' defense, as good as it is, does look a lot different than what we saw in the Super Bowl. I mean, look at their defensive front. Milton Williams is gone now. He played at 501 defensive snaps last year and ranked 3rd on the team in pressures at 40. Josh Sweat is gone. He played over 600 defensive snaps last year, led this team in pressures with 55. And look at their secondary. So C.J. Gardner-Johnson, gone. Darius Slay, gone. Avonte Maddox, gone. And Isaiah Rodgers, gone. That's over 2,000 defensive snaps in the secondary alone from last year that they don't have. Now, they still have a lot of great players, obviously. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Cooper DeJean, all these guys. And it looks like Jihad Campbell at linebacker is going to be a pretty good player. So, I mean, they're still loaded defensively, but they are making up for a lot of players they don't have anymore. And maybe they're kind of learning a little bit how they're going to use these new players and their scheme. So in one way, I'm kind of glad we catch them in week 2 because they're kind of figuring this thing out. The Chiefs have to take advantage of it, though. We have to stay on the field on 3rd down. And we have to start fast because that was kind of the thing leaving the game is we got to start fast. Give the Chiefs credit, kind of like we talked about with JuJu. The first half was difficult, but after going 0 of 7 on third down in the first half, we finished 5 of 7. We have 133 yards of offense in the first half. We have 214 in the second half. We averaged 4.3 yards per play in the first half, 7.9 in the second half. We made some great adjustments. You got to start fast, though, against the Eagles. You can't be making adjustments and hoping to get things going in the third quarter. You got to start right away against these guys.
And to your point, in the Charger game, they're this close to making the Chargers feel uncomfortable.
So
this
close.
The missed PAT, huge. They still lead 13-12. Psychologically, it's a big deal. Then you're chasing the point. You get the 2 points set up to tie it at 20-20. Give Tierre Tart credit, knocking down the 2-point conversion. Stays 20-18. Psychologically, the game never switched. The Chiefs were in the discomfort zone.
On 3rd and 14, if we get that stop, I think we win the game. So yeah, I'm with you.
Those are all areas of where the Chargers were real close of entering the uncomfort zone. So this game, you got to start fast against these guys and try to do so. We've laid it out for you, but it's the Chiefs and the Eagles.
And before we close, I have one thing that I have to show everyone too. I have to show them this.
What is this?
This is sorry, not to interrupt an awesome close.
Oh, no.
But if you're a season ticket member, you received this. I was going to forget it.
This might be the key to victory. Is this the key to victory?
So this is a How About Those Chiefs LED sign. Every season ticket member received this in the mail. And this is another great reason that you should be an STM. You get to go to Chiefs games and you get cool stuff. So just wanted to show everyone this. I tested it beforehand and it was lighting up. Of course, it's no longer lighting up. It probably ran out of batteries. But
your dog Pip needs one of these.
It's the perfect thing to have in your basement. So anyway.
Wouldn't Pip be fired up about this?
Oh, she'd love it. She'd love every bit of it, yeah. So anyway, before we close, this is pretty cool. Another reason to be an STM. Anyway, sorry, continue.
That puts me in a comfort zone.
But we're in the discomfort zone right now.
But who will be in the uncomfort zone for the most part of this game? Because if you're not there, you'll win it.